Not deny is that this country was built by the hands of many different cultures, but mainly the African Americans, because they were the ones that were put to task to go out and actually do the work. And all the while having to endure the pillaging of where they were from, identities taken from them, and forced to do things that they didn't want to do. Far from a choice. Our influence is everywhere. In clothing, music, you know, there would be no rock and roll without us. Like, we've been here. Black now is America. Black future is America. Black history is...
I think that song title is perfect for the question I have for you, because it was called Message to the Black Man. Kanye West, are you familiar with some of the things he said lately that has, for me, I found it hurtful, but I would love to hear your translation because you might have a different perspective. But he said that, you know, slavery was a choice, you know, being slave for 400,000 years. I don't want to misquote him, but that was 400 was a choice. We should have rebelled. And I was hurt by those comments, but I'd like to hear your perspective of it right now.
Well, first of all, Kanye is my brother and I love him dearly. He's a very, very brilliant man who's struggling to find his way. And when he was on the radio on Charlemagne the God's interview, that was a great interview.
It was.
Because every time Charlemagne said, well, you had a breakdown, Kanye would say, I would rather call it a breakthrough.
Right.
And he's wrestling with 400 years. And he misspoke, because we didn't choose slavery. Come on now, nobody that loves freedom would choose slavery. But it was a choice. But it wasn't our choice. It was God's choice. And when you understand Scripture, the people of God, the people of Abraham, were prophesied to go into bondage in a strange land among a strange people for 400 years. And we have served that sentence. But that sentence was God's way of, first of all, purifying us for the next phase of the world's existence, because he said, I'm going to choose a people that were no people at all. I'm going to take the bottom rail, bring it to the top. You will no longer be the tail, but you shall be the head. So we didn't choose this, but God chose it for us. But here's what I think Kanye was saying. Look, man, we are slaves again. How are you a slave now? You got a chain around your brain, and you allow your education or your miseducation to make you think you're better than your little brother who doesn't have it. With education comes an arrogance that makes you think you know what you don't know. Because all the education we've received, we have never used it to put our people's feet on a strong economic foundation. So he's trying to break chains of sex. I'm hoping soon to talk to some of my brothers who have let the pleasure of sex and the pain of black life drive them to an insanity, if you follow what I'm saying. So he's breaking through those kind of chains. He wants to break those chains that bind him to this or that. He wants to be a free thinker. He hasn't gotten there yet, but he made this I would call it misspoke. And my man T.I. and Kanye have been at it beautifully, talking, critiquing. Kanye's a beautiful man. I'm hoping that you didn't get so bent out of shape when you know your brother, in the psychiatric terms, had a breakdown. And if you have a breakdown, you don't come back to where you were instantaneously. It's a process. And in that process, he came on with Charlemagne the God. Then he went on TMZ and he talked about this is a choice. Yeah, choosing drugs over sanity, that's a choice of slavery. Choosing ignorance over wisdom, that's a choice we're making. So we're chained in another kind of way, that now that truth will set you free, if you reject that which will set you free, you've made a choice to be a slave.
What offering at?